If BBIG were a popular television show, I would liken it to The Office. There are constant shenanigans going on, and its leadership does stack up to the abilities of Michael Scott. Hi again everyone, I hope you're all doing really well. So I haven't looked at Vinco Ventures stock ticker symbol BBIG since the company finally completed the Cryptide spin-off. I generally think the investor mood around the stock is one of having moved on from this company. But that is not to say that things have not been dull for Vinco Ventures. To understand what I'm talking about, and in case you haven't read the headline, about 2 weeks ago, Vinco Ventures announced Ted Farnsworth would be the co-CEO of Vinco Ventures with the current CEO of the day, Lisa King. For background, Ted Farnsworth is the current chairman and co-founder of Zash. He therefore brought a lot of collaborative history to the Vinco board through his previous collaborations and partnerships in the acquisition of social media platform Lomotive and ad placement service AdRise. On the news of Farnsworth's appointment, the Vinco Ventures share price fell by a whopping 38%, that being the 15th of July. On the 17th of July, 2 days later, a board meeting was held where Lisa King was demoted from CEO, with John Colucci being appointed as interim CEO. So that's 2 CEO shakeups in the space of 2 days for Vinco Ventures. On the 22nd of July, there were filings made by the board that only listed Ted Farnsworth as CEO with no mention of John Colucci. The board then reconvened to ratify that John Colucci appointment as interim CEO. However, the motion seemed to be blocked by all members of the board who were connected with Ted Farnsworth.
Here, sir?
Well, it just so happens that I'm a manager too. And the way I manage people is that I touch their hearts and souls with humor, with love, and maybe a dash of razzle-dazzle. And I don't see that from you.
This is why Vinco Ventures management believed there was an attempt at a hostile takeover by Ted Farnsworth aligned members of management without consideration, i.e. payment. The world of stocks has been privy to takeover news lately, particularly surrounding the attempt by Elon Musk to take over Twitter. This Vinco Ventures attempt was a different form of takeover. Rather than buying voting power with shares, it was a Game of Thrones amongst the management ranks. The actions taken by the board were to remove all management members associated with Ted Farnsworth, including Chairman Roderick Vanderbilt and of course Ted Farnsworth as CEO, who had only been in the job for about a week. Again, the stock has not performed well in response to this latest fiasco, falling 20% yesterday in Tuesday's trade to finish the session at what appears to be an all-time low of 79 cents per share. Now, beyond the initial shock of all these events, if you have any BBIG-related adrenaline reserves still, you have to ask, what will all this mean for BBIG and their joint ventures with Farnsworth's Zash Group going forward? Keep in mind the collaboration and joint ownership over key strategic assets, AdRise and Lomotive that we just mentioned. Could this latest saga lead to a breakdown in these partnerships or even an attempt to buy out the other? To which Vinco Ventures is perhaps at a disadvantage given its record low share price and the fact that it is a publicly traded company as opposed to Zash being privately held. So there does appear to be some bad blood at the moment, and it'll be interesting to see where things go from here. In terms of where we are with the BBIG share price, as previously mentioned, the stock is currently sitting at 79 cents, which is a record low point. As we can see, since the Cryptide spin-off, the stock has fallen out of the $1.90 to $2.20 channel that it had been bobbing between for a while in the lead up to that event. In recent trade, it has hovered around the $1 per share mark. Interestingly, before yesterday, the stock was actually starting to show some positive momentum in the MACD indicator on a daily chart. This is perhaps a reflection of the oversold conditions the stock has basically faced since the spin-off. Switching over to this hourly chart, yesterday's 20% fall is perhaps better illustrated. Prior to Tuesday's session, there was a bit of stability with tight trading patterns around the $1 per share mark. Given that at least on the surface, some boardroom stability may be returning to BBIG, a move back to this $1 mark could indeed be on the cards, which could be presenting a good buying opportunity. It is worth remembering, however, that Vinco Ventures currently holds about $100 million in cash and cash equivalents, of which they only have immediate access to about $20 million at the moment. Given that the company has its market cap of $166 million, this actually makes for quite an enticing entry price for the stock at the moment, especially if you do hold out hope that Vinco Ventures might actually turn into something decent down the track, as opposed to being the drama queen of stocks that it has been for the last 18 months. Anyway, Following the latest Vinco drama, John Colucci has flagged the company's immediate priorities are now stabilising the company, looking at cost cutting and aggressively pursuing more revenue opportunities. Without much detail as to what these goals will entail, it does sound like the company is looking to pursue less speculative operations than some of their more recent activities, such as low motive and crypto, or at least they will be looking to boost the revenues from the existing sources. I guess this is a space to watch for now. What do you guys all think about BBIG? Do you think at these current prices it is a buy, or have you just given up on the stock altogether now that the Tide saga is over? How do you think they will pursue these new revenue and cost saving ideas? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Till next time everyone, may the markets trade in your favour. Cheers.